Hi, this is Lara Haddock, and today's gratitude is the night John Lennon died. I had quit my day job at Yarring's downtown and was working 36 hours a week as an overnight DJ. I lived in this weird little garage apartment in the Zilker neighborhood near the Umlauf house, a 1-minute hike from Zilker Park. It was a very literal garage apartment behind a tiny 1930s cottage. 2 car-shaped rooms with a brick floor, the bricks just laid down on earth, and when it rained, tiny, feeble little plants grew between the bricks. And a lean-to kitchen with the same sort of brick floor and clear corrugated plastic walls. I woke up maybe around 7 p.m. to get ready for work. I took a shower in the weird closet-turned plastic wet room bathroom, made a cup of tea, turned on the radio to the station I worked for, KCSW, now KEYI, to hear what Lou Piper was playing before I went into work. I planned to eat dinner and go in early, around 11 p.m. Lou said John Lennon had been shot. I turned off the kettle and got into my car. Lou needed me. Never in a million years did I think John Lennon would die. I was probably close to where I live now when Lou came on the radio and said John Lennon had died. There were no cars on the road, and I just swerved onto the shoulder. When Elvis Presley died, it was my first year as a DJ, and it was sad, but not like this. John Lennon was ours. One of my favorite DJ things was when someone was super shitty to me over the phone, and believe me, there wasn't a single night when I didn't have to deal with someone being super shitty to me. I'd play Instant Karma and dedicate it to them. It doesn't make me special to say I loved John Lennon. It hurt a lot. After sitting there on the shoulder of IH-35 for about 5 minutes, not a single car drove by. Can you believe it? I remembered. Lou needed me. And I drove on to the little metal building in the pasture of painted ponies, and we were just playing John Lennon and the Beatles, and it was the olden days, so it was mostly on vinyl, and a few were on a thing called carts, which were sort of like an 8-track tape. Google it, children. And they only had one song and one commercial on them. And I pulled out all the John Lennon music and all the Beatles music, and Lou played everything, and people were calling on the phone, crying, and I talked to them, and news was coming over the AP wire, again, the Google, and I was ripping and reading, and finally, Lou was sad and exhausted and wanted to go home, and I said I was fine. And all night long, the news kept coming over the AP, and people kept calling. The old Steamboat Springs, I'm 93% sure I'm remembering the name of the place correctly, on 6th Street, they stayed open, and people called all night from there while I played music and read news to say thank you, crying, telling me why they loved John Lennon. At some point, I ripped some printout off the AP machine. At this point, I wasn't reading stuff before reading it live on the air. Useless superpower can read anything dead cold perfectly. Between keeping up with weeping drunk people over the phone and finding all the John Lennon-related music in our library and playing it on various turntables and cart machines and ripping and reading the news, I was at full capacity. I turned on the mic and started reading the paragraph for the first time, live. And it was from Yoko Ono, and it was about forgiveness. Honestly, I remember nothing else, only that it was about forgiveness. After some mentally ill killed her husband and took this amazing human being away from us all, and I just lost it. I started crying on the air. Let my voice fade to music, to some John Lennon song. But people kept calling, And I kept playing that music all night long. It was a terrible night. It was a beautiful night. I will always be so grateful I got to be a DJ the night John Lennon died.